of Health Unscripted with Dr. D. My name is Dr. Ashley Dwyer, and I am cracking open, just kidding, a half-drunk Coke Zero on this call. And I have to say, if are choosing between Coke Zero and Diet Coke and you choose Diet Coke, there's got to be some psychopathic behavior there. I just don't understand. I don't understand how you choose Diet Coke over Coke Zero. I just don't. And if you're on here and you're like, but Ashley, you're a healthy professional, influencer, please don't call me an influencer, Jesus. You are all about health and longevity and whatever. How are you drinking a Coke Zero? And well, I'm also really about balance, and a Coke Zero once a week or twice a week is not going to be the end all be all for your health. Okay. So anyone who tells you otherwise, discredit them, because the science is not sciencing for it. All right. There's no data that actually proves that unless you have 36 Diet Cokes a day. I don't think any of us are drinking that. You'd not only be in the bathroom all day, you'd probably be in the hospital at that point. So today, speaking of science and data and evidence-based things, we're going to be talking about my loathing disdain for MLMs. And if you're unfamiliar with MLMs, it means multi-level marketing company. So pyramid schemes nonetheless. There are so many, so many in the health and fitness world. And I literally hate them because health and fitness is already controversial enough. It's already hard to interpret. There's already so many people online saying, do this, do that, professionals with doctors in front of their names, professionals with PhDs, all the things. And they're saying, do this thing, do this one thing. And you're like, who do I even trust? Something's in my eye. Cool story, guys. Who do I even trust? This person saying this thing, this person saying go carnivore, this person saying keto's amazing, this person saying lectins are going to kill us, kale's going to kill us. What do we do? Avoid Diet Coke, avoid whatever. Now, not only do we have these people on the internet, we also have influencers promoting their MLM products, telling us how it's going to cure every lasting illness they ever had. It is just gotten insane, whether it's cortisol face and cortisol belly and grief, or losing children, or like losing 30 pounds in 21 days, best protein shake you'll ever have, hair, skin, and nails growing out of your a-hole. Like, okay, these product claims are ridiculous for some of these MLMs. And some of the ones you guys may know that aren't, there's doterra, which is essential oils, which I'm not really going to cover those things today, but we got Herbalife, we got Arbonne, we got Amare Global, we have Shakeology, Beachbody is a pyramid scheme. Oh my gosh, we have New Skin, we have Modere. And the thing I hate so much about these is everyone knows you're getting ripped off. Okay, you're getting ripped off because it's just a company where there's one person at the top. It is literally a pyramid. One person at the top who gets more people underneath them to start selling the product than this. Those people get more people underneath them, who get more people, and that's how you get those Instagram ads of, do you want to be your own girl boss? Do you want to be your own CEO? And you're not really a CEO. Sorry to say, you're just working for this company. Maybe some people do well in an MLM, but most don't, because you have to buy in, you have to buy into the products, and then you have to disperse them to your audience, which means you're going to be reaching out to high school people, they haven't talked to in 15 years. And I'm going to see that DM and be like, yo, I don't know you. You're pitching me an MLM right now. Are you kidding me? All right. Don't do that. Don't do it. Oh, Monet was another one. That was hair. People were losing their hair because of Monet. Just insane, because these, since this is their only business, or a side hustle, or just something they're trying to break into and get that pink Cadillac, if they are just promoting it nonstop with all of these different things. And it just is really unfortunate in the health and fitness space, because then we have clients and we have people who are so confused. One example is Modere, for example. We'll do like the liquid collagen. You'll see people promoting liquid collagen as being the best ever, hair, skin, and nails, doing this. You need liquid collagen over powder collagen. No, you don't. There is no data that proves that liquid is better than powdered collagen. Not only that, what do you think people do with the powder? Do you think people are snorting it? Do you think people are dry scooping collagen? We're adding it to liquid, and it's dissolving. It's turning into liquid collagen, and then we're putting it in our bodies. So where's the thinking behind this? This is my issue, is it's so dumb, but there's the lack of discernment and the lack of education around it is crazy. So you're going to sit here and tell me that liquid collagen is better, and to take your liquid collagen product and sell this and buy it for like $50. I have no idea how much it is. And then you're going to tell people to invest in doterra as well. But the problem is now that collagen you have to take on its own and like take the liquid and hope it tastes good, even though there's 0 carbs and 0 sugars. But then the powder is bad and not as bioavailable, even though you're technically putting it in liquid like coffee, your protein shake, smoothies, just water, because it tends to be tasteless as well, with no flavor. So what is the difference? What is the difference? There's not any, okay? So you're turning it into liquid anyway. You're just actually taking it from its pure form of powder, putting liquid to it, and putting it in a bottle with more preservatives. That's what I'm saying. So the evidence is just not there for MLM products. And if it is, the studies are very skewed, swayed, and usually self-funded. Now, I know you hear a lot of stuff about self-funded studies all the time and that discrediting companies. Unfortunately, a lot of things do have to be self-funded because of the level of care or research that needs to go into it. So you can't really discredit something just because it's fully self-funded. It should still be a quality study. And so you need to look at the study to see what type of study it is. And hopefully it's like a double-blind, random controlled, placebo-controlled trial, which means that both parties, there's 2 parties split up, there's placebo, and there's the one that's getting the experiment. Double blind means neither group knows what they're getting at all. They don't know if they're getting placebo. They don't know if they're getting the actual drug. This is how drug companies do it. And so you have an active amount of people taking it and people who aren't taking it, and you can cross compare and see the data at the end. There's also a ton of other factors that go into these studies and how they interpret the data, if they're actually clinically effective, what dosages were used in these studies of these ingredients, and then what dosages are actually in the product. So when we get into things like, you know, Herbalife and Shakeology, I get those a lot. Like, what do you think of Herbalife? Well, Herbalife has a lot of contaminants and sent people to the hospital for liver failure. There was a lawsuit against them for liver issues in Herbalife. I'm not really a fan of that, because again, FDA, you know, supplements are not FDA regulated. So you can do whatever with these supplements and it's just kind of accepted in the world, unlike how the FDA regulates drugs. And I know, listen, guys, FDA and everybody shit the bed during COVID. So there is a lack of trust when it comes to governmental agencies. I'm there with you. I am. But as a pharmacist, I do understand how the drug process goes with approving drugs for clinical trials and how these clinical trials work. And so FDAs don't go through, or excuse me, FDAs, supplements don't go through any of these protocols. Supplements are just made by someone in a lab and shoved out. There's no quality control. Sometimes we'll get a supplement that has this CGMP, like good manufacturing practices, little GMP seal on the label. And that would be cool because that means that the facility is clean and like well kept and, you know, things should be what they say they are, but you really don't know. You don't know where they're sourcing the ingredients. You don't know, okay? So this is what brings us to another issue with supplements and claims and all of the things. So Shakeology, even you look at their data and you go through their studies and it's like, it was found that in 12 weeks, the people who took Shakeology before breakfast versus a calorie matched placebo lost more weight and had better blood sugar control. And it's like, okay, but what does that really mean? Shakeology is a quote unquote protein and fiber shake, right? Of course, if you have protein and fiber in the morning, it is going to slow blood sugar and control blood sugar better than a calorie, if you can't see me, I'm quoting, a calorie matched alternative, which could all be literally calorie match just means it could have been the same amount of calories as the shake, not the same macros. So it could have been the same amount of calories, but just in juice. They could have given the person like 8 ounces of orange juice to match 8 ounces of Shakeology if it came out to the same calories. No shit, you're going to be more hungry and have a horrible glucose response with just having OJ in the morning than having protein and fiber. So if you don't have to do Shakeology because it's this magic, amazing thing, you just need to eat protein and fiber in the morning, which is what we stress anyway. This is what we say anyway. It could be any protein shake. It could be any like berries and 3 eggs type of situation. It could be anything like that. Load up a protein oatmeal, load up a Greek yogurt with some berries again. And I say berries because they're excellent in fiber, especially raspberries, chia seeds, flax seeds, amazing fiber. Load all that stuff in there. You're getting a heavy protein and fiber-filled breakfast, and it will do the same thing that Shakeology does. So all of these claims to make it seem like a wonderful miracle supplement is just bogus. And lately I've just really hit my ceiling with Amare Global because I see these people all the time on my algorithm. And I know I've built my algorithm brick by brick. Okay. I know I'm getting these things because I'm watching them and discrediting them and stitching them and making all the posts on them. But it wasn't until I saw a very, very popular pharmacist's post of her promoting Amare Global and Happy Juice. If you're unfamiliar with Happy Juice, it is these like sticks of powder that you drink 1 to 3 times a day, but they're also $45, I think, or I can't even remember. I can look it up right now, but they're very expensive and they are supposed to increase your energy, stabilize your mood, take down your cortisol. And according to every influencer they have promoting these products, literally cure your child's ADHD, cure your grief from your husband dying. Like there are so many crazy claims being made. It's ridiculous. And all it is a stick with 100 milligrams of caffeine. So yeah, you're gonna get some energy. Anyone's gonna get energy from 100 milligrams of caffeine. I'm looking at this Coke Zero right now and it doesn't tell me the amount of caffeine, but I'm pretty sure there's only like 40, there it is, 57 milligrams for the whole bottle. I'm gonna get a smidge of caffeine from Coke Zero. Should I market this and be like, drink this and it will cure all your woes and give you energy boost to keep up with the kids? It's just fucking soda, y'all, okay? So 100 milligrams of caffeine, that's what you're gonna get. There's also some probiotics in there that they claim are doing amazing things for serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. There's also some like lychee and mango leaf extracts and things like that to help with mood and cortisol. And again, the problem that I have with pharmacists now promoting it is you have people with doctors in front of their names. You have people with credentials promoting these things. And when general population is going to go on the web and see, oh my gosh, this supplement made her lose weight and do all this and be happier and gave her more energy, I need that. I have those symptoms. I need that. I trust her because she's an accredited doctor. She has PharmD, she knows supplements, whatever. I'm gonna go for that. And she's just scamming y'all to make an extra buck because she's an influencer now and I don't think she's a pharmacist. So we need to stop and think about A, are these supplements actually good and doing what they claim? B, if I take this supplement, do I plan on taking this supplement forever? Probably not. So why am I going to start for a little bit of a quick fix? Because we often think that the results are going to stick after we stop the supplement, and they're really not. The results are only going to happen while we're taking the supplement, and then once we stop, we're going to have the same symptoms back because we didn't change anything in our lives except taking the supplement. We didn't work on our stress. We didn't sleep more. If anything, we're going to sleep less because now we're having more caffeine throughout the day. We didn't change our diet. We didn't change anything about inflammation or mental health. We're just drinking fucking sugar sticks. Okay. So the results are not going to stay. So ask yourself, do I want to be on a supplement forever? No, probably not. That's expensive. We need a side hustle for our supplement addiction. Okay. And this is probably how MLMs got started. So ask yourself that question. And then I can't do a course on statistics and teaching everybody how to like read a clinical trial, but I can tell you the data. And the data is, and the problem with most MLM supplements on the market is that the clinical trials and the data that they are saying support the ingredients in the product do not line up. Meaning, the clinical trials are studied at, let's say, 1,000 milligrams of glutamine, okay? And they're telling you in the product that glutamine is gonna help your gut, okay? Glutamine is gonna be amazing for you. This will help heal your gut and help like soreness after workouts. By the way, little thing, you might hear that, glutamine does nothing for recovery, just for your gut health. But in the product, it's part of this awesome thing. And when I say awesome thing, I'm being very sarcastic. It's part of this awesome thing called a proprietary blend, which means it's just a bunch of ingredients all lumped together under one dosage. And what that means is you have no freaking clue how much of what is in that proprietary blend. It is listed just like on nutrition labels, that the first ingredient is usually the thing that has the most, and then the last ingredient is the least amount found in the product. They do the same thing on nutrition labels, and then that's the proprietary blend. So let's say glutamine at 1,000 milligrams was studied in this clinical trial that they're citing to help with gut health. Then you look at the product and you see that the proprietary blend contains glutamine, but it's only 1,000 milligrams total with 3 other products in it. So now you know that glutamine is the 3rd one on the list. So it's not even the most prevalent in the product, and the total is 1,000. So you know there's no way there's 1,000 milligrams of glutamine in this product, yet they're claiming it does the same things that the studies studied and found the dose of what you actually need does. Bottom line, it doesn't. It's not efficacious. The dosage is not enough to do anything. That is what most of these proprietary blends claim, like AG1. Oh, that should be an MLM, but it's not. Athletic Greens is just a giant proprietary blend, so you know nothing. Amare Global Happy Juice is the same thing. They use a ton of proprietary blends. Most MLM supplements and companies do. And their argument for that is, well, we don't want to give away our secrets. And it's like, cool, nobody's looking for the magic ingredient to the Krabby Patty, you know, like to make the Krabby Patty. We're just trying to figure out if the Krabby Patty is even edible, if it even does what it's gonna do, right? Like if it's made out of pure beef or if it's made out of like quinoa and just a little bit of beef, I need to know how much protein I'm actually getting in this Krabby Patty, okay? So I hope you guys love the metaphor. But that is what is going on. So they're claiming all these things, and then the dosages in the product do not match the clinical studies. So again, you're taking water, you're taking nothing. And the placebo effect is a super real thing. So you may feel better after taking these products, but that's because you've also decided that this product is going to work and you're doing something to move towards a better alternative, that you feel better just by taking the product, even if it is a Tic Tac. Okay, you feel better because the placebo effect is 1,000% studied and 1,000% real. And maybe that's what some people need to feel better. It's just a placebo effect and to be tricked. But most people are looking for actual answers. And to be duped by influencers and now medical professionals on the internet is just not okay. And I don't understand how these people sleep well at night. And I just hate it. So it came time to talk about MLMs on here because I'm tired of seeing people just get absolutely crushed with hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, maybe you're not spending that much, but it's $1 billion supplement industry for a reason. You're spending hundreds of dollars a month on these supplements, hoping for some miracle cure like you saw online, and you realize that's not actually going to happen. One of the influencers, I did stitch her video, the pharmacist, and she was claiming that Happy Juice got her body, which was lean and was showing like a little bit of side abs. And I totally stitched it and I was like, no, like to even use that as a claim when you know it's not true is A, hurtful, predatory. Like that's what it is too, is a lot of these women are predatory on other women looking for an emotional cure. That's not okay either. And then I have me at the end, literally standing in the mirror and being like, my body is not made by one single thing. And it's definitely not going to be by something called Happy Juice. The body that you see is made by days and days and days of consistent nutritional guidance, days of working out and hitting the workouts and hitting the steps and the water, years of just consistency, y'all, and fine-tuning things and learning how to eat and learning how to train, learning how to recover, and just making it part of my everyday life. It's not because I added a special supplement that also promises for me to earn money if I can recruit a team under it. That's not how this works. I understand why it's a good business model for the guy on top, but it's not a good business model for those on the bottom. And if you're listening to this and anything you come across that is an MLM for supplements, please ignore and disregard. I'm not here to speak about skincare. I'm not here to speak about essential oils or hair products or clothing like Zaya or Savvi or any of those. I'm not here to talk about those things. I'm sure they have their own problems within them, like, you know, essential oils shouldn't really be drank on their own. They're not curing all things either. So again, just we need discernment back in society, which is like we need to question things we hear instead of just accepting it as fact, no matter who it's coming from. I hope you guys listen to this and you're like, well, I don't really know if she knows what she's talking about. I'm going to go fact check her. Please go fact check me. And if you find that I am incorrect, please send me a DM on Instagram with the studies or with whatever you found where I am correct. And I will definitely and gladly have a conversation with you because obviously, as you could tell, this is something I'm very passionate about. And I really, really would just love if we could kick them all off the internet. That would be my favorite. my favorite thing. And I feel so strongly about this. And I feel like it is a character, like it's a value, integrity. Like we practice what we preach. I can't say that we are evidence-based and we believe in quality products and no BS and whatever, and then sit here and promote MLM products. I cannot. It's not going to happen. The only supplements I do promote are from Legion, which are clinically tested quality ingredients. Again, it's supplements, so they're not FDA regulated, but I do trust this company. It's not an MLM. It's nothing like that. You can look up all the ingredients. They're not claiming that these products do anything. They're simply just making the products we already know and love, like protein powder, plant-based protein powder, creatine monohydrate. Like they're just giving us the products we love, but in clinically efficacious dosages with clinically proven ingredients and quality sourced ingredients. That is all we can hope for at that point, right? So if you guys have any questions about anything I've said in this entire episode, please let me know. Like I said, slide in my DMs on Instagram at dr.dwyer, dr.dwyer. I want to hear from you guys. Repost this episode if you listened to it. Let me know if you liked it. If you are currently using MLMs and you want a supplement replacement or an alternative to one you are using from an MLM, again, slide in my DMs. It's the best way to reach me. And I will help you find an alternative to the product you're using so you can stop doing what you're doing. Again, a lot of these might need to be lifestyle changes, but for example, if you're using liquid collagen and you want a substitution for an actual collagen where you don't have to spend a bunch of money for doterra, I'm here for you. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing rest of your week. I cannot believe we are almost done with July. What is going on? Mid-July is here. Holy crud. Stay tuned for next week. All right, y'all. Peace out.